Have you ever felt like money enters your home, but vanishes without explanation, as if there were an invisible hole draining everything you work so hard to achieve? It is not a lack of planning. It is not bad luck. It is no coincidence that every time you are about to finally breathe financially, something happens, an unexpected bill, a breakdown, an urgent necessity, a problem that devours every cent you have saved. This is no way to live, chosen one. This is a pattern, and every pattern has a spiritual origin. What is happening inside your home at this very moment is much greater than your rational mind can accept. There is an enemy, and this enemy is not on the outside. He has already entered. He crossed the threshold of your home at some point, perhaps through a word spoken in anger, an object received as a gift, a visit that appeared innocent, or a silent envy that no one ever taught you how to recognize. And now, he feeds on your prosperity. Think with me. What if every financial difficulty you have experienced in recent months is not a problem of the material world, but the visible manifestation of an invisible war being waged around you? What if you, because you carry the mark of the chosen, were being identified from a distance by the principalities that govern money, and for that reason, they attack everything that enters your hands before it can even take root? Today, God is revealing something to you that many generations of your family lived their entire lives without understanding. There is a spiritual thief inside your home, and as long as he remains hidden, no amount of money will ever be enough. No promotion, no business deal, no financial grace will be able to hold firm, because he steals before you even notice. He drains at the source. He sucks at the root. The truth that few have the courage to utter is that your money is being taken by something that has a name, a form, and a very specific purpose against your lineage. If you felt a chill just now, pay attention. This is not just any video. You were led here to hear a revelation that will forever change the way you view your home, your finances, and what you are experiencing within your own household. That is why I prepared a powerful digital book for you, the Manual for God's Chosen to Protect the Family. This book is not just for reading, it is a map that shows exactly who is stealing your money on the spiritual plane, which doors inside your home are wide open for this thief to enter and leave with what belongs to you, and what entities from other dimensions have already revealed about how this ancient scheme of financial looting works specifically against the chosen. This book was created for those who have awakened enough to understand that money is not just matter, it is energy, it is flow, it is a kidnapped blessing every time there are open spiritual breaches within a home. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. But I must warn you, this type of content rarely stays available for long. What is in these pages challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, and there have already been concrete attempts to silence this knowledge before. Do not wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, chosen one, because you did not come across this text by accident. Download it now and comment, "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." And now that you have decided to act, the next truth I will tell you will be the opening blow against this financial oppression that is taking over your home while you sleep. The first sign that there is an enemy installed inside your home stealing your money is simple, yet most people ignore it because it seems like silly stuff. You notice that money comes in, but it leaks out. You receive an unexpected amount, and before you can even think about what to do with it, an expense of the same size arises, sometimes even larger. You save for months, and it only takes a few days for some unforeseen event to consume it all. This pattern has a name in the spiritual world. It is called the leaking bucket. And the leaking bucket is not a poetic metaphor. It is a concrete spiritual reality that operates within homes where there are invisible drainage points. These points can be objects kept for years, people who frequent the home, words pronounced in moments of anger, or permissions that someone gave without knowing what they were authorizing. The thief anchors himself to these points to drain everything that enters. You are not crazy when you feel that something is wrong. You are picking up on what your spirit has known for a long time. It's just that your rational mind was trained to discard these warnings as paranoia. Another powerful sign is unjustified financial exhaustion. It is not the tiredness of someone who works too much. It is a weariness that comes before the attempt. You think about making a new financial move, and before any action is taken, you feel a weight. You feel a lack of motivation. You feel that it won't work out anyway. This weight is not yours. This weight is installed. It is a defense used by the thief so that you never try to break the cycle. Because as long as you believe that prosperity is not for you, he continues to work freely inside your home, unnoticed, uncomforted, and unexpelled. I'm going to tell you a truth that will make you uncomfortable. Many of the fights that happen inside the home regarding money are not human fights. They are spirits waging war through the people you love. When two family members start arguing over bills, when a couple enters into friction whenever the subject is financial, when children ask for things at strategic moments of tension, observe the pattern. There is an intelligence behind this. The thief uses family relationships as entry points and as amplifiers. Every fight creates a rift. Every rift is an opportunity. Every opportunity is one more withdrawal from your spiritual account. And there is more. There is a category of enemy that enters your home that no one teaches you to identify: contaminated objects. Have you ever received a gift, and from that point on, your financial life changed for the worse? Have you ever bought something second-hand and started to feel a weight in the house? Do you have objects stored that belong to people who did not wish you well? All of these are possible anchorages. The spiritual world does not work by superstition. It works by laws. And one of the laws is, everything that has energy is capable of transmitting energy. If an object was touched by bad intention, by envy, or by a desire to harm, it carries that until it is cut off. Now think about how many places inside your home you have never examined through this lens. And it is exactly at this point that the digital book, the manual for God's chosen to protect the family, becomes indispensable for you. This book is not just reading material, it is a specific map. A map that shows exactly how to identify contaminated objects inside your home, which spiritual doors are wide open, draining your money, and what specific prayers, decrees, and cuts expel the financial thief from your home once and for all. This book was created for those who have awakened enough to understand that prosperity does not come only from work, it comes from protection, and that it is of no use to earn more if the house remains an open field for the thief to enter and take. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. But I must warn you again, this type of content challenges very powerful interests, people who profit from the spiritual ignorance of humanity. There have been attempts to take this material down before. Do not wait for the right moment, chosen one. The right moment is now, because while you read this text, the thief continues to work inside your home. Download it now and comment, "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." And now that you have made this commitment, the next truth I will reveal to you is the definitive blow, because there is a name for what is happening inside your home, and when you find out, nothing will ever be the same. The name of this spiritual operation against your money is ancient, as old as humanity itself. It appears in different cultures, in different traditions, with different names, but the function is always the same: to drain, to kidnap, to consume, to return emptiness. The ancients called it the spirit of poverty. But that is a simplistic name for something much more sophisticated. We are not just talking about a lack of money. We are talking about a spiritual mechanism that operates on three simultaneous fronts. The first front is the blockage at the entrance. You lose opportunities before they even materialize. You feel like you are always on the verge of succeeding, and the thread always breaks. The second front is the acceleration of the exit. Everything that enters leaks out for inexplicable reasons. Something always comes up. There is always an urgency. There is always a bill. The third front is the contamination of perception. You begin to feel unworthy of prospering, as if there were something wrong with having abundance, as if humility meant poverty. And this third front is the most cruel, because it makes you an accomplice to your own misery. The thief convinces you that you do not deserve it. He convinces you that prosperity is vanity. He convinces you that holiness is living with little. But chosen one, listen carefully. The God you serve is the God of abundance. The God who called you by name from before your birth did not call you to be looted. He called you to be a channel, to be a bridge, to be an instrument for the transfer of wealth from those who oppress to those who heal. And when you accept the lie that poverty is holiness, you are, without realizing it, signing a silent contract with the thief. You are saying to him, "You can keep what is mine. I don't need it." And he thanks you. He settles in. He multiplies. There are three main doors through which this enemy entered your home. The first door is the door of the word. How many times has someone said inside your home phrases like, "We're never going to get out of this. Money is hard. This isn't for people like us. God doesn't want us to have it." Each of these phrases is a decree, and decrees have power. Every word spoken with conviction inside a house is a seed planted in the spiritual soil of that home. If seeds of scarcity were planted, it is a harvest of scarcity that is coming, and it will not stop until it is pulled out by the root. The second door is the door of unconscious consent. Have you ever allowed envious people to know the details of your financial life? Have you ever shared in moments of excitement achievements that were not yet consolidated? Have you ever told plans to someone who smiled with their mouth but not with their eyes? Every time that happened, you opened a window. And the spiritual thief enters through windows as easily as he enters through doors. Envy is not just a human feeling. Envy is a vehicle. It is a frequency through which entities access specific targets. When someone looks at your life with envy, that person, without knowing it, is opening a channel for something else, something non-human, to come and do the work of draining. The third door is the door of inherited pacts. And this is the hardest to accept, but the most important to understand. You are not the first of your lineage. Before you, there were grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. And at some point, someone in your spiritual lineage did something, said something, or gave something away in exchange for something else. It may have been in the name of hunger. It may have been in the name of passion. It may have been in the name of anger. It may have been a silly oath, but spoken with such force that it became established on the spiritual plane. This pact does not die with the one who made it. It transfers. It crosses generations. And it continues to collect the price, from child to child, from grandchild to grandchild, until someone in the lineage has enough awareness to break it. If you are the first in your family to be awakening to these truths, congratulations. You are the chosen one. You are the cutter. You are the one who will break the cycle. But for that, you need tools. And these tools are not in schools. They are not in colleges. They are not in most modern places that have forgotten real spiritual power. These tools are kept. They are protected. And they need to reach you at the exact moment you are ready to use them. And that is why the digital book, the manual for God's chosen to protect the family, needs to be in your hands today, not tomorrow. This book is not just reading, it is an arsenal, a practical manual that teaches exactly how to identify inherited pacts that have been draining your money for generations, how to break decrees of scarcity spoken by your ancestors, how to shield your home against envy and nocturnal attacks, and how to reverse the gears of the spirit of poverty that has been operating for decades in your lineage. This book was created for those who have awakened enough to know that praying is not enough. One must know how to pray with spiritual intelligence and exact direction. And for those who have already understood that the thief inside the house only leaves when confronted with informed authority. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. And I need to be direct with you. They have tried to pull this material down before. There have been influential people trying to block this knowledge from reaching the public. Because as long as the chosen remain ignorant, the spiritual system of looting continues to profit at the expense of your families and your finances. Do not wait for the right moment, chosen one. The right moment is now, because with every hour that passes, the thief remains inside your house and every extra minute is less money. Download it now and comment, "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." And now that you have made this commitment, prepare your heart, because the next revelation is the heaviest one, the one many cannot even pronounce out loud. There is an exact moment when the spiritual thief enters the house of a chosen one. And understanding this moment is fundamental because it repeats itself. It is not unique. It happens in patterns. The thief enters when the house is in disunity, when husband and wife argue in raised tones, when children feel they do not belong, when there is bitterness between siblings, when there is unresolved resentment between parents and children. The house is like a spiritual fortress. While it is united, it is impenetrable. When it fragments, it becomes open ground. And the thief, who is always circling, always observing, enters at the exact instant of the rift. That is why one of his most powerful strategies is to instigate small conflicts, that silly fight about dirty dishes, that exaggerated discussion over a bill, that sharp comment made without thinking. All of this has a purpose, and the purpose is to open cracks, to keep the house in a state of low vibrational frequency, in a constant state of tension, in a state of continuous irritation. Because a house at peace is a shielded house. A house at war is a surrendered house. Another element that few understand: sleep. Yes, sleep. If you or people in your house have been suffering from recurring nightmares, from a feeling of pressure during the night, from distressing awakenings at 3 or 4 in the morning, from exhaustion that does not go away even after sleeping a lot, this is not a coincidence. The spiritual thief also works at night. He takes advantage of the state of sleep, because it is at this moment that your conscious defense is low. It is at night that many spiritual loots are executed. It is during sleep that anchorages are reinforced. And when you wake up feeling that you slept worse than if you had stayed awake, it is because your body worked while your mind rested. And then there is the matter of animals and children. Children and animals feel what adults no longer feel. If your pet starts looking at an empty corner of the house, if it barks or meows at nothing, if it avoids certain rooms, pay attention. If the child in the house starts talking about figures that no one sees, if they are afraid to sleep at certain times, if they say things that seem absurd to you, do not dismiss it. These are natural sensors. These are alarms that God placed in these souls because they have not yet been anesthetized by the rationalism of the adult world. You are awakening now because your time has come. It was not your choice to be consuming this content. It was a summons. There is a spiritual clock set for every chosen one, and yours has just struck. From the instant you heard the first sentence of this video, something on the invisible plane changed. Your frequency rose. Your name was pronounced somewhere. And the thief inside your house noticed he is uncomfortable, he is moving. He is trying right now, while you read this, to create a distraction so that you do not finish. A thought will appear. This is an exaggeration. Leave it for later. I don't need this. Do not obey. This thought is not yours. This thought is the thief's defense. When a chosen one perceives the presence of the invader, 3 things happen in sequence. First, a sharp increase in the sensation of pressure. It is as if something were trying to push you back into unconsciousness. It may come as a sudden headache, as an untimely fatigue, or as a sudden desire to do something else. Do not give in. Second, coincidences will begin to appear. A call at the exact moment, a message that seems to distract, a problem that demands urgent attention. All of this is strategy. Third, a wave of doubt will come. Is this really true? Am I taking this too far? This doubt is not born of your discernment, it is installed, and it is the thief's last resort before losing control. I am going to tell you what needs to be done when you recognize that there is an enemy inside your home draining your money. First, you need to pronounce it. The mouth of the chosen one has authority. It is not enough to think, you must speak. Out loud, inside your own home, declare that this place belongs to God, that everything that enters there is sanctified, that everything that leaves there is blessed and blesses. This declaration is not symbolic. It is legal on the spiritual plane. It is an act of dominion. Second, you need to identify and remove. There are objects in your house that no longer belong there. You know which ones they are. When you think of them, you feel a weight, a strangeness, and discomfort for no apparent reason. Trust that feeling. This is your spiritual detector working. Take them out of circulation. You do not need to perform complicated rituals. You just need to remove them from the environment. Third, you need to seal the doors. Every room in your house needs to be visited in conscious prayer. Every door needs to be touched with intention. Every window needs to be declared covered. This is the spiritual engineering of a chosen one's house. And this is exactly the kind of practical instruction waiting for you in the digital book, because it is not enough to know that a thief exists. You must know the exact sequence of actions to expel him. And there is still something that needs to be said about the people who enter your home. Not all visits are neutral. Some people, without knowing it, are carriers. They carry in their energetic field anchorages that transfer to the environments where they step. Have you noticed that after a certain person visited your house, the atmosphere changed, that there began to be more arguing, that financial problems appeared shortly thereafter? It is not a coincidence. I am not teaching you to distrust everyone. I am teaching you to observe. Discernment is not paranoia. Discernment is spiritual maturity. And there is that specific type of person who has the habit of making innocent comments about your financial life. Wow, what a new car. That looks like it cost a lot. Are you guys traveling again? What a privilege. These phrases, when said with the right intention underneath, are small blows. They are spiritual needle pricks. It is not about what was said. It is about what was sent along with what was said. And the awakened chosen one learns to perceive the difference between a person who rejoices in your prosperity and a person who is bothered by it. Now pay attention to this truth that few have the courage to say, money is frequency. And like all frequency, it responds to vibration. If the vibration of the house is one of gratitude, money flows. If the vibration of the house is one of complaint, money flees. Every complaint uttered inside your home about lack, about difficulty, about scarcity, is a signal being sent to the material and spiritual universe. This is a place of lack. And the universe, obedient as it is, responds by sending more lack. Not because it is cruel, but because it is faithful to what you decree. Therefore, chosen one, begin a silent renovation of your home's atmosphere today. Replace complaints with gratitude. Replace crying with declaration. Replace I never have with I always have what I need and a little more to bless those in need. This is not cheap positivity. This is ancient spiritual technology. It is how you reprogram the soil of your home so that the seeds of prosperity germinate instead of dying. And one more layer that needs to be said. There are hours of the day when the thief is more active. The ancients knew this. 3 in the morning, dusk, and nightfall are times of energetic transition where spiritual doors are more fluid. If you want to strengthen your home, these are precisely the moments when prayers, declarations, and sealings have the most potency. It is not superstition. It is the real functioning of the invisible world. When you put all these pieces together, the recognition of open doors, the removal of anchorages, the breaking of old decrees, the sealing of rooms, the vigilance over who enters, the reprogramming of the atmosphere, and the strategic use of timing, you are no longer someone at the mercy of the thief. You become the master of your home. You become the chosen one in action, not just in word. And the thief who was comfortable, who had been serving himself at your table for years, receives an eviction notice, and he has to leave. Because the spiritual authority of a conscious chosen one is greater than any financial principality. But this is exactly where many stop. They understand the theory, they feel the awakening, but they do not take the concrete step. And the thief knows this. The thief's greatest weapon is your procrastination. It is the I'll see to it later, I'll do it later, I'll study this properly later. Every later is one more day of looting. Every postponement is a spiritual bill being paid. You cannot wait. You were not summoned to wait, you were summoned to act. And acting on the spiritual plane begins with a decision. The decision is the first cut. The decision is the first order given. When you decide in your innermost being that it is over, something on the invisible plane registers it, and that record begins to operate in your favor. But decision without instruction is armed blindness. Decision with instruction is an army in formation. And it is exactly for this reason that the digital book, The Manual for God's Chosen to Protect the Family, was placed in your path today. This book is not just reading. It is the instruction that transforms your decision into effective action against the financial thief who is inside your home. It delivers to you, page by page, all the practical step-by-step instructions to identify exactly who is stealing your money, expel them definitively, close the doors that have been wide open for generations, Break the inherited pacts that were signed before your birth, shield your family against envy and nocturnal attacks, and reprogram the financial frequency of your home so that money enters and stays, no longer leaking through invisible holes. This book was created for you who made it this far. For you who felt every word resonate as if it were addressed to your name. For you who recognize signs in your own home while I was speaking. That object, that fight, that exhaustion, that visit, that pattern. It was not by chance, chosen one. The link is pinned at the top of the comments, and I will warn you for the last time. This content challenges very large interests. They have tried to silence this knowledge before, and they will try again. Every day that this book remains available is a grace. Do not confuse this grace with a guarantee. The right moment is now, because the thief remains inside your home while you delay. Every extra hour is less money. Every minute of hesitation is a door that remains open. Download it now, read it today, and comment in the comments. I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. This comment is not a symbol. This comment is a decree. When you post this phrase, you are declaring to the spiritual plane that you have accepted the call, that you have taken your post, and that you are ready to reclaim what is yours by right as a child of God. And when you do this, prepare yourself. From the moment you download the book and begin to apply what is in it, your home will begin to undergo a visible transformation. The thief will resist in the first few days. He will try to confuse you. He will create distractions. But your authority, now informed, is greater than his resistance, and in a short time you will look at your home, at your finances, at your family, and you will recognize what was loot has become harvest. What was scarcity has become abundance. What was a thief has become dispossessed, because you were chosen. And the chosen were not made to lose. The chosen were made to reign within their own home, with God as the King of Kings, and you as the faithful steward of what he has entrusted to you. Today, the turnaround begins, and it starts with a click. Go there now. The link is at the top of the comments. I will meet you on the other side of your new financial life. Chosen one. The war is over. The victory has begun.